Today we're heading out to Smythe's Apple Orchard, which is located in Dundalk, Ontario. And that is the area where the first Macintosh apple was discovered by John Macintosh in 1811. It is a huge operation which is able to supply us with the apple cider that we use to make our hard cider. My name is Pete Rainville. We're at Smythe's Apple Orchard. I am a cider maker, and I run a company called Flying Canoe Hard Cider, which is Ottawa's first and only hard cider. Well, this is relatively new to me. My background is both in media and as a chief operating officer for a large company in Ottawa. The flavor of our cider was determined by my wife, Melissa, who is not extremely partial to cider. As our children got a little bit more upwardly mobile and we didn't have to change diapers every hour or so and they could play by themselves a little bit more, I had a tiny amount of spare time. So I guess I was getting in my wife's way a lot around the house, and she told me basically get a hobby. Approximately 3 years ago, I revived my equipment in the basement and decided to make some cider after a visit to this orchard, Smythe's Orchard, with my family. Apple picking goes on from harvest time, which is usually mid-August, and continues probably until about late October. The apples are all picked and binned. From that point, the bins go into a juicing room where the apples are sorted and picked.
Very nice.
From that point, they are washed and they are ground and then pressed for the juice. The juice goes into a holding tank, and then from that point forward, it goes into our tanks to bring home. The hardest part is actually trying to maintain the formula, so trying to balance the changes of the apples throughout the season is a very difficult operation to do. So essentially what we do when we get to Flying Canoe here in the city is we transfer the juice that we got at the orchard to totes that are inside the cidery, so that makes it a lot easier instead of using forklifts and different things to manipulate that, because we don't have much space, as you can see. We've transferred from the truck into the tank inside, fermented the juice, moved it to a secondary, and then we go to a third process, which is the bright tank, which is essentially the carbonation, a little bit of aging going on, and as well as a chilling down of the product so that the carbonation can stick to the product. After that, we go around this tank to our canning equipment, where we fill the cans, cap the cans, put them in cases, and then move them on into our cold storage. Being the first in anything is, in this case, historically significant. Ottawa never had a hard cider before. But the idea is that somebody has to be out there. Somebody has to go to the moon. Somebody has to push those boundaries and those limitations.